It was a typical suburban neighborhood, nestled under the cover of ancient oaks and quaint white picket fences. Sarah and her family had just moved into the charming colonial house on Willow Street. The neighborhood seemed peaceful, with friendly neighbors and smiling faces. Little did they know that their new home had a dark secret, one that would haunt them for years to come. Their immediate neighbor, Mr. Johnson, was a recluse who lived in the eerie, dilapidated house next door. His windows were always shuttered, and nobody had seen him for years. Sarah often heard whispers from the other neighbors, stories about the mysterious Mr. Johnson. Some claimed he was a mad scientist, experimenting on the dead in his basement lab. Others said he was a former hitman, hiding from his past. The Johnson house had an air of dread about it, and the children in the neighborhood would dare each other to venture near it at night. On one particularly dark and stormy evening, Sarah's younger brother Timmy decided to take up the challenge. He was dared to sneak into the Johnson house and retrieve something as proof. Timmy's friends watched nervously from the safety of their yard as he slowly made his way to the door. The creaky sound of the door opening echoed ominously in the silence. He vanished inside, and the minutes dragged on, feeling like hours. Just as Sarah was about to rush inside to find her brother, Timmy reappeared, holding an old, dusty book. He ran back to the safety of the yard, heart pounding. The book was filled with cryptic symbols, diagrams, and eerie incantations. Sarah's family dismissed it as a prank, but the strange occurrences began soon after. At night, they would hear eerie whispers in a language they couldn't understand. Shadows moved within the Johnson house, casting ominous silhouettes on the curtains. Objects would vanish only to reappear in bizarre places. One evening, Sarah awoke to find her room covered in mysterious symbols drawn in chalk. In the dead of night, she heard her name being called, but when she ventured out into the hallway, nobody was there. Sarah's parents, equally tormented by the strange occurrences, began to investigate Mr. Johnson's history. They discovered that Mr. Johnson had once been an occultist who dabbled in dark rituals. Rumors circulated that he had made a pact with malevolent spirits to gain power and immortality. As time went on, the supernatural forces he had invoked became increasingly restless and malevolent. In a desperate attempt to free their family from the horrors, they returned the dusty book to the Johnson house, hoping it would appease whatever entity dwelled there. But their plan backfired. The supernatural occurrences escalated, and they were haunted by terrifying apparitions. One fateful night, Sarah's family decided to move away, leaving the nightmare behind. As they drove down Willow Street, they looked back one last time at the sinister Johnson house. In the darkness of the night, a chilling figure appeared in one of the windows, a ghastly visage that would forever haunt their memories. The true horrors of their neighbor's house were never fully explained, and the Johnson house remained abandoned, a dark and foreboding presence in the neighborhood. Willow Street would forever be a place where the line between the living and the dead had blurred, where nightmares walked the streets, and where the true horrors of their neighbor would never be forgotten.